Howdy, folks. Making sure everything's working here. I was having a little problem with my headset the other day. Okay, we got an easy puzzle. Okay, how do we want to do this? Easy puzzle. Okay, so I'm not going to mark anything at all. We're not doing pencil marks at all. We're just going to go numerically. We're just going to start. Let's go backwards just for fun. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to look for pairs like I normally do. We're just going to start counting backwards. So we're going to go to 9. So I've got a 9 here, a 9 here, a 9 here. Okay, we have a 9 here. We don't have a 9 in the center yet. So I have a 9 that goes across the top. I'm looking in the center cube. I do have a 9 that comes down the left. I have a 9 that comes across the bottom. So one of these two is my 9. So if you're playing along with, you might want to write that down if you want to. Okay, now down here I don't have a 9, but I have a 9 down the right side, 9 down the middle, so I have to have a 9 over here somewhere. Okay, this bottom center cube, I have a 9 here, so one of these three is a 9. Okay, over here in this bottom cube, I have two 9s down the left and down the center, so one of this top or bottom are a 9. But I'm not going to mark it. We're going to go on to the 8s. So I notice there are two 8s right here and an 8 across the bottom and across here. So there's only one spot here in this cube that can be an 8. Now if we remember here, the 9s went down the left and down the center, so the only place for that 9 is now here. Okay, we have a 8 that comes down the center, an 8 that comes up the right side, so there's only one spot for the 8 there. Do you guys see that? Alright, I'm just kind of zigzagging up. I came down with the 9, going back up with the 8s. So I do have an 8 in the left. I have an 8 through the bottom. So any one of these three could still be an 8. So we're just going to skip that for now. This cube here, I have an 8 across the bottom and an 8 in the right side. So 8 has to be right here somewhere. Not sure where just yet, so we're going to leave that alone. Okay, up in this top cube here I need an 8, but I can't be here in the right and it can't be in the bottom, but I still have 3 places. We're going to leave it alone. So this cube here, 8 comes across, 8 comes up. I have 2 spots. We're going to leave it alone. We're only going to mark things that only have 1 spot. And then we're just going to go around and around and around until we get them all. This is an easy puzzle, so single elimination is all we are doing today, folks. So we need 7s. I need a 7 in this cube. Okay, I only have one helper here that says it can't be in the left, so it can be all of these 5. We're going to skip that. Okay, looking in this second cube, we have a 7 that comes up the center, but it still can be in these 3. Over here on the right side, I have one in the center and I have one in the right, so it can be one of these 2. Okay, I do have a 7 here. I don't have a 7 here, but it can't be in the top and it can't be in the center, so I have 4 places it could be a 7. I'm just ignoring that for now. So you can do this lots of different ways. I'm just kind of going back to simplicity here. So 7 can be in the top, 7's got to be one of these 2, and then we have a 7, 7, and 7. Okay, so we're going to go back the other direction and we're going to look for 6s. Okay. Okay, I need a 6 down here. It cannot be in the right and it cannot be in the left, so it's one of these 2. So we're just going to skip it. Okay, in this cube, I don't have any 6s vertically or horizontally. So I don't know where that is, so I'm just going to skip it. Okay, over here in this left cube, I do have a 6 down the left side. So it could be any one of these 2. Because it's 2 places, let's just skip it. Moving up here to this cube, I need a 6. Well, this 6 comes right down this lane, only leaves this one spot left for a 6. You guys see that? Okay, so that's all we're doing is we're just whittling it away and we're just skipping everything that doesn't give us a 100% foolproof answer. Okay, we need a 6 here in the center cube. It cannot be in the top, cannot be in the middle, so it has to be one of these 2. I don't have anything to help me vertically, so we're going to, you guessed, skip it. Okay, here's a 6 and here's a 6. We need a 6 here. Can't be in the top, can't be in the middle, so it's down here somewhere. All right, well, that's all we've got for the moment. So now we're going to come back over here and we're going to start with 5s. So I have a 5 across the top, I have a 5 across the bottom, and I have a 5 up the right side. So that leaves this as the only spot left for a 5. Okay, we've got a 5, we've got a 5. Now down here, this 5 comes down to the right side, this 5 comes across the bottom. One of these two can be a 5. Not sure which one just yet. Let's go to the middle cube. I have a 5 in the right, 5 in the center, 5 in the bottom. So it could be either one of these two. Not sure which one just yet, so we're going to leave that alone. Okay, we do have a 5 over here. So we're going to come down to this cube. So I have a 5 down the center, and I have a 5 through the middle. So the only place for a 5 is right there. Now these two 5s are going to come over here to this right cube, not through the middle, not through the bottom, not down the right side. Only spot left for a 5 in this cube is right there. Alright, now that's going to help us back up here. This 5 in the right, this 5 through the left. This is the only spot left for a 5. Okay, now this center cube, now that we have this extra 5, this 5 goes through the bottom, this 5 goes through the middle, this 5 goes through the right. Only spot left for a 5. And that, folks, is all the 5s for the puzzle. The more numbers you find, you'll see that it just starts to resolve itself. Okay? Alright, so we just got all of the 5s done. Now we need some 4s. Now I'm just looking through the puzzle really quick, and I notice these are our only two 4s. So to save us a little time, let's just go vertically. I can't be in the center, and I can't be in the right side, so this is the only spot for a 4. Now I'm looking over here in this cube. This 4 comes across, so I still have 2 spots. This 4 comes across, so I still have 5 spots. This 4 comes across, and so I could have 4 spots here. This 4 comes across, so I could have 2. And this 4 comes across, I have 4 here, and comes across here, I could still have 3. So 4 hasn't really given us a whole lot of help over here, but we've gotten them over here. Now one thing is important to kind of take just a moment. We're going to go down to 3s here in just a second, but if you notice there is a row or a column or a cube that's only missing one number like this, it's always a good idea to just stop and figure out what that one number is, because that might help you in the long run. And it just so happens to be it's going to be a 3, which we were just about to find out anyways. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the only spot left for our 3. Okay, so now let's look at this cube here. I have a 3 across the top, a 3 we just put in here, or this 3 that helps us out too. Only spot left for a 3 is right there. So these 3s are going to help us out a smidgen. Okay, so we have 2 3s over here. Goes up the left side and the center, so a 3 has to be over here somewhere. We have 2 3s here that go up the left side and the center, so the 3 has to be top or bottom. And there's no help in this cube or this cube right here. It could be either one of those. Okay, and that's okay. That's all right. See, that's all we're doing is we're just going through the motions, and we're just see how we're dwindling down the numbers. We just go round and round and round until we get them all, and eventually we will get them all. With an easy puzzle, single elimination is a great way to learn how to do pencil marks and to do some other things. But we're just doing it the most simplest way today. So we need a 2. All right. Okay, so the 2 cannot go here because of this 2, but it could go these 3 other spots. I don't have anything down here helping me out just yet. Oh, you know what? There's 2 numbers right here, and I noticed this 2 comes across, so this is the only spot for a 2. So that 2 does come up and help us there and helps us here, but it still has to be one or the other. This 2 comes across to the right cube where it goes through the center and the middle. So I still have 3 choices for the 2. Alright, so we'll skip that cube. We have a 2, we have a 2, we have a 2, we have a 2, and we have a 2. Now this bottom right cube needs one. Well, it can't be in the bottom because of this one. Cannot be in the middle because of this one. So the only spot for that 2 is right there. Okay, now we only have one number missing here in this cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a 6. Now we did 6s earlier, but we didn't have all the numbers in just yet. So it's always good to go back and see what can help us out. Now we just put this 6 in, and you notice this right cube doesn't have a 6. So just because we put it in, I see that 6 can no longer go in the bottom, and 6 can no longer go in the left because of this one. So the only spot for a 6 here, it's good sometimes just kind of review the numbers that you add and see how they affect. Does it help us north vertically? Okay, we already got our 2 6s there. That's good. Okay, so we were working on our 2s. Now it's time to work on our 1s. Okay, so I have a 1 here. I need a 1 in this cube. Well, this one says it can't be in the top, so there's our 1 there. Alright, now 1 cannot go here, so a 1 has to go down here somewhere. Oh, but hey folks, look at that. You see that row is only missing one number? Let's take just a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is the only number that will fit there. Now I'm just going to look vertically. Okay, there's our 2 9s already. I'm going to look horizontally. There's 1 9, there's 1 9. But there's only 1 9 here. So 9 can still be either of these places, so that's okay. We'll just skip that for now. Okay, so we know one of these is a 1. And now we're going to come up to this cube. I need a 1. Well, it can't be in the top, but it could be one of these two. Okay, let's move over to this cube. Well, 1 comes down the right, 1 comes through the middle, 1 has to be here somewhere. Okay, and we've got our 1 here. Alright, we need a 1 in this cube. So we do have a 1 here in the center and a 1 here in the middle. So I still have 2 spots for my 1. Alright, let's move over to the next cube. I've got my 1. Let's move over to the next cube. 1 can't be in the middle, so I still have 4 places the 1 can go. Now we started at 9, we went all the way through, and we went back to 1. So now we start back over at 9s again. Just like we found these other numbers down here, some numbers weren't possible until now that we've got some numbers filled in. Okay, so now we need a 9. Okay, 9, 9, 9. We've got a 9 here, we've got a 9 here, but we need a 9 in the center cube. So 9 can't be in the bottom, 9 can't be in the top, and 9 can't be down the left side. So 9 has to be in one of these 2 spots. Okay, so I'm going to skip it for now. We've got a 9 here. Okay, 9 is going to be in one of these 2 spots because of this 9 here. And then here's this 9 here. Okay, so now that we've got 9s, let's go look at 8s. So here's an 8, here's an 8, here's an 8. I'm just kind of zigzagging back up the cubes. Here's our 8. Okay, we need an 8 here in this cube. Okay, where do the 8s go? So this 8 comes up the left side. This 8 comes across the bottom. So 8 could still go in 3 spots. So we're going to skip it. This cube needs an 8. Well, it can't be in the bottom, and it can't be in the right. So look at that. We actually have another solution. So 8 has to go in one of these 2 spots. Okay, so we need an 8 up on top. Well, the 8 can't be in the left, 8 can't be in the right, so we still have 2 places for our 8. Looking horizontally for any help. Okay, let's go over here. We need an 8. Well, 8 can't be in the bottom. And you know what? When we put this 8 over here, I didn't notice this, but look at this. This 8 comes through the middle, and this 8 goes through the bottom. It only leaves one place left for that 8 here in the middle that we didn't have. Okay, now that helps us up here in this cube because this 8 comes across the bottom and this 8 comes in the right. Only one spot left for the 8. Now, folks, back here where we were having a little bit of trouble here, see this one on the right and this one on the left? Now this one comes right through the center. Only place for an 8, and that's all of our 8s, folks. That's it. We did all of our 8s. Now we do have a row right here that's just missing one number. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't see a 4 in that row, so this has to be a 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, cool, when we put this 4 here, we now only have one number missing in this cube. Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That has to be our 1. I like to count forwards and backwards sometimes. It's a hoot. Kind of gets my brain thinking different every time I go through it. Now, anytime we put new numbers in, it's good to kind of look back and see numbers that we're missing. So we were missing a 1 and a 4 down here, and now that we have this 1, it says it can't be here, so it has to be a 4 and then there's our 1. Okay, did you see that this comes down, and so it makes this one a 1, and then there's only one number left in the cube or in the row, so it has to be a 4. All right, now we have some 1s that come up, 1 in the left that we just put in, a 1 through the middle, and we also have a 1 through the middle this way. So 1 has to fit right there. It's the only place left for it. Okay, now vertically, this right row and this center row are only missing one number. So even if you look at it like as a row, there's 3 numbers missing. But if you look vertically, there's only 1. So these two will give us vertically, and then we'll be able to come out and find out what this one is. Okay, so this right row, 1, 2, and then I don't see a 3. So there's our 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and I don't see a 4. So there's our 4. Now looking at it horizontally here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there we go, 7, 8, 9. So those numbers are just falling apart now. They're just kind of giving themselves up. The more numbers we get, we just count them down. Okay, so what we were working on, I think we got all the 8s done. Let's look at 7s, I think. Okay, so we have a 7, a 7, and a 7. So in this cube we need a 7. Well, you can't be here because there's already a 7. So there's our 7. Now this cube only has one number. 1, 2, that has to become our 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we need a 7 here. So this 7 comes across the middle. So one of these two have to be a 7. Okay. We have a 7 here. Now we don't have a 7 here just yet, so one of those two could be a 7. Okay, in this center cube there's a 7 that comes up, and so it can be 3 spots still. And that's okay, folks. Don't get frustrated, don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes it feels like you may not be getting very fast those numbers. Just keep going through it. It's going through the same repetition over and over. And right here, okay, notice here in this column, 1, 2, and it looks like we're missing a 3. There we go. Okay, so we were working on the 7s. So let's take a look at the 6s. Okay, so we have 1 here. We don't have 1 here, and that can go anywhere. There's a 6. There's a 6. This one goes through the middle, so it could be either one of these two. There's one that comes across the top. Could be any one of these 3. We just don't know yet. That's okay. And there's another 6. So let's look at our 5s. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I think we have all of our 5s. 5s, 5s, 5s. We have all the 5s. Okay. Let's look at some 4s, shall we? Now I noticed, normally I start here at the bottom, but I noticed this 4 is going to go right through this lane, only leaving one spot for a 4. There we go. So now the top 3 are done. Okay, there's a 4. Now this needs to have a 4 here somewhere, but it can't be in the right lane, and it can't be in the bottom lane. So it's one of these two. Okay, but then we have a 4, we have a 4. We don't have a 4 here, but it has to be in the left, and we have a 4 here. So the numbers are coming. Let's see what we have left. We have a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. This top middle one needs a 3. Well, it can't be in the center, can't be in the left, so the only spot for a 3, and folks, that is all of our 3s for the whole puzzle. 3s are done. So now let's take a look at our 2s, shall we? Okay, so I still need a 2 over here. Can be either one of these guys. Now when there's 2 numbers, sometimes it helps you to look what the other number is. So if you look at this cube, we're missing a 1 and a 2, and there's a 1 right here that says this cannot be a 1, so that makes that a 2, and then there goes our 1. Okay, so there's our 2 and there's our 2. This cube needs a 2. Well, it can't be across the top anymore, so there's our 2. We just have one number missing, both vertically, horizontally, and the cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what is missing. Okay. Alright, and then we've got a 2 and 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 a 2. So all of our 2s are done. Let's take a look for our 1s. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now I need a 1 in the center. It can't be in the middle, can't be in the right, can't be in the bottom. So here's the only spot left for a 1. And that, folks, 1, 1, 1, 1 is all of our 1s. Okay, so there's 2 numbers missing here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 6 and a 7. Now we're looking down vertically. Look at this 7 right here. So 7 cannot go here. So there's a 7. There's a 6. See how those help us out? We got 2 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That's not a 4. That's a 5. I need a 4. Well, a 4 cannot be in the right lane. So there's my 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's only 1 spot left in that row, which is 9. That goes right there. All right, I got 1 number missing vertically, which looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 2 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. I need a 6 and a 7. And I have a helpful 7 here that says this cannot be a 7. So that makes that a 6, makes that a 7. Whoop. 2 numbers left here. 1, 2, 3. I need a 4. Well, it cannot be in the right lane, so there's my 4. 5, and then I'm missing a 6. There we go. There we are, folks. That was an easy puzzle. Single elimination. That's a great way to start your game. Don't worry about all of the extra tricks and tools and pencil marks. When you're trying to start off, try to perfect that single elimination, and that will help you to build on with those other skills too. So hope you enjoyed it. I always recommend pausing it, printing you off a couple copies, play along with. And as always, welcome any comments, suggestions, or challenges you have for me. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.